capacity control of a refrigeration plant system monitors and controls the output of the plant to meet the demand. As the temperature of a room gets to its required temperature, there will be no more need of the refrigerant flow for cooling of that room. The solenoid valve supplying the controlled quantity of the refrigerant to that particular room will close. As the solenoid valve closes, we may need to unload a unit in the compressor. For that, we need to close the compressor valves by means of a hydraulic mechanism. In this system, the oil pressure switch is used as the pilot to operate the capacity regulator for unloading operation. The solenoid valve fitted in the oil return line is interlocked with the compressor motor starter. This interlock ensures that the solenoid valve will be energized open only when the compressor is operating. Thus, a positive shutoff in the return line happens, preventing draining of oil and refrigerant into the compressor crankcase during off cycles. The orifice plate controls the flow back of oil to a minimum to avoid oil slugging into the crankcase. The solenoid valve assembly consists of a capacity control valve with a control piston backed by spring. The capacity control valve will be in the unloaded position when energized and in the loaded position when de-energized. Here you can see how the gas pressure has been used to keep the unloading piston down when the solenoid gets energized. The oil supply pressure in the capacity control valve is regulated by the capacity regulation valve. One branch of the capacity regulation valve is supplied with oil from the supply pump of the compressor at constant pressure. This valve has grooves bored in its periphery and is connected to the unloader mechanism of different units. The capacity regulation valve comprises of piston and spring assembly which acts against the crankcase pressure. Different units of the refrigeration compressor work in parallel to manage the load. When the load decreases, the capacity control system cuts off some units, maintaining improved efficiency of the plant. This action also reduces the unwanted stress on different parts. By default, the unloader assembly keeps the suction valve in open position. Once the load demand in the system increases, the pressure in the crankcase will also increase. This will press the piston of capacity regulation valve, cutting off oil supply and blocking the oil supply to the unloaded unit. That will close the suction valve and that particular compressor unit will come to action. If the demand is very high, the pressure in the crankcase will increase, pushing the regulating piston and cutting off oil supply to all unloader units. This will bring all the units in operation to cater to the higher load demand.